Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another installment of BrickWall Reviews. This is Dave. So we had a slight, I know we're late tonight, but we had a slight, very last minute change of plans. This was supposed to be our double review. However, we're just going to keep it as a singular review, and we will get to our Jujutsu Kaisen Zero movie review tomorrow. So that just gives us more time here to talk about the movie Fresh from Hulu. And when I say we, I know it's like we. Well, it's just you here. There's no Sam. There's nobody else. Well, that is where I'm excited, and I'm waiting for my guest to get ready now. I do have a guest here tonight. She has also watched the Fresh movie. If y'all know me personally, I have not been shutting up about this movie. This is an amazing film. Before I get any farther than that, before I bring in our guest, I want to remind you guys to go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Our most recent review was on Turning Red, so make sure you check that out. We did that last week. And like I said, tomorrow, and I'm going to change the thumbnail. I'm going to go and edit all the posts on social media and everything so that y'all know tomorrow. And I know I just got on there. If y'all follow us on Instagram, I've been on there popping a lot of shit just like 2 minutes ago. But tomorrow we will be doing the Jujutsu Kaisen review. Hold on now. We're having some little tech difficulties getting our guests in here. Y'all know we don't really be having guests up here. Can our guests, can you hear us? No, she cannot hear. Hold on. Let me make sure it ain't just me. Can you hear us? Oh, she is. She can't hear us. Oh man. No? Oh. Well, isn't this just something? Let me see. What if I? Oh. Wait, hold on. I'm trying to set this up. But okay, so yeah, so the movie Fresh, right? So the movie Fresh, I'm gonna talk a little bit about it while I try to fix this this whole thing. Still no sound. That is insane. I'm not really sure why. Maybe if I add you to the stream as soon as they get steady. Let me see. Okay, can you hear? Still can't hear? Still nothing? Oh man. Oh. All right. So hold on.
Can you hear me? Because I can't hear anything.
We can hear you. I can hear you.
I can't hear anything whatsoever.
Oh man. All right, hold on. Let me try to fix this real quick. See, this is the benefit of doing stuff live. Try to fix this. But hold on. All right, so in the meantime, though, while we getting that set up, like I said, guys, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Make sure still can't hear. Oh man, what is going on? What is going on with this? See, this is why when we do things from live, then we have these problems. Okay, our guest is gonna come right back. I hear you. All right. So in the meantime, I was making a lot of announcements, and now I totally forgot where I was at with announcements. Oh, BrickWall Anime is coming. I know that for a fact. So Sam's solo BrickWall Anime review will be coming soon. She's checking out a few things, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. So while we waiting for our guest, though, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna kind of just give you guys a rundown of what Fresh is. So Fresh is a Hulu original movie that was released a couple weeks back. Hold on, let me give y'all the exact date. Y'all know how I do. So wow, it came out January 20th. I don't remember it coming out January 20th. It came out later than that, in my opinion, from what I remember. Well, according to my sources. Oh no, I was right. So it had its premiere on January 20th, and she can. All right, our guest is here. So, but I'm gonna still keep talking because I was in the middle of something. So it was released on Sundance Film Festival January 20th, and released on Hulu on March 4th of this year. It stars Sebastian Stan, who most of you may know from the Captain America and the Marvel movies. He was the Winter Soldier, Bucky, many of you know him as, and Daisy Edgar Jones. I've seen her in something, but I do not remember what. I'm gonna go ahead and add our guests and everyone. Give a nice round of applause and a warm welcome to Miss Jasmine over there. How you doing tonight? Thank you for joining us.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. So we've only had for those of you who are just tuning in for this might
Mm-hmm.
be our first video or anything. We have only had very very few guests here. I think you might actually be the second, no, the third guest we've had join us here. So it's always a pleasure having someone join in on these reviews here. I'm playing with layouts here. Y'all gonna see me playing now a lot. We don't get guests here. We keep it private balcony closed and everything. But
I see.
so Fresh, like I said, released on March 4th on Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
Stars Sebastian Stan, Daisy Edgar Jones. Those are pretty much the two major main characters in the film. Although there are other characters in here, Jonica T. Gibbs, Charlotte the Bond, Dio. Okay, it's just a whole bunch of other people. It's just like short cast. I don't feel like reading everybody's names. Y'all know I'm lazy. So this is a thriller. You can call it a thriller, right? Am I correct? Kind of saying a thriller.
Yeah.
A little bit of a horror movie. And it's just wild. I've had a lot of trouble explaining this to people. I say, yeah, you watch it. It's about a girl who's trying to go on dates and trying to find, trying to find her true love, so to speak. And she meets this guy played by Sebastian Stan. And when she meets him, things go south after he invites her on a weekend getaway. And after that, it's kind of difficult to bob and weave. So if you haven't seen the movie, then guess what? Tough titty, because we are going to be talking spoilers of this movie.
Oh, good.
I can't review this without talking spoilers. This is such an insane movie. Caught me completely off guard. Everyone else who's watched it, I've talked to, has caught them completely off guard. Y'all know me. I'll go a little bit out of order sometimes. So, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and let you speak a little bit on this film, Jasmine. Tell me, because I know I informed you of this film after I watched it. What were your thoughts going into this film?
I didn't really know what to expect. Just from from the preview itself, it seemed like again, it seemed like a thriller. It seemed really interesting. What I got from it when I actually watched it was something completely different from what I expected from the trailer. Um, Two things that came to my mind was that one, I wanted to be vegan, and the other was that I don't want to date ever again in life.
Right. Yeah.
So I guess okay, I'm gonna go into a little some spoilers now. I guess. So she met this guy. What was his name? Steven. And when she met him, there was like this instant connection she had with him. Prior to that, she met this guy from internet dating, from online dating. So I kind of took the connection she had with this guy that when she instantly met him, it was almost like it was like a fresh take, like so to speak. The title, being fresh. It was like she almost had like a refreshing experience with meeting this guy in person because again, like in the day and age we're in now, everything is so technological. Like we meet people online, we stalk people online, we try to find all the information we can about anything and everyone through online. So the fact that she was able to meet someone fresh face. There was no background whatsoever. Like she was able to search her social media because she just met him for the first time in a grocery store. So this was like kind of like this old fashioned, meet you for the first time, know nothing about you. So it was definitely a good way to meet someone, and I kind of felt like it played on the fact that that she was able to there was like this shock factor that she had because like again she met this guy in person after already having this horrible date or dates in general with these guys online, and then after she has like this, it's like this sensory overload that you get when you meet someone in person because you have this like initial flirtation after this physical attraction you have, and then it's about trying to feel the other person out while you're trying to get to know them, and then just to be able to interact with someone on like a real life human level. It definitely is not something that's very popular today because a lot of people, I feel like we've forgotten how to have actual real life verbal conversations because everything is just done through the phone.
Yeah.
Because if you remember in the beginning of the movie when she met this guy, you know, he was very he was very racist, and he also like he
Yeah,
just
yeah, that guy. Yeah.
yeah, remember the Asian guy with the Asian woman that at the restaurant, he was just very rude and mean to her, like he assumed that she didn't speak English, and he was
Mhm.
like, talking very loudly at her and just like slow, so that was just very like very cringy, and then he just felt like because he was just this loud, overt man, and like he was pretty much like what people how we view male figures now today. Like we see him as very like overt and loud and patriarchal, and he just assumed that because she's a woman and she's out dating, that he had it all sold up. He was able just to get her and take her how he wanted. And when she rejected him,
Mhm.
it was like a big trip to his ego, and he didn't know how to react. So he just he continued. He went and called her out her name, and it's pretty much just like made her feel like she was going to be alone because she wasn't subservient to this man, and she wasn't able to just be uh, at his disposal. So again, for her to meet this guy who was just very gentlemanly, and then to kind of take her by surprise, it was easy for her to fall prey to whatever schemes that he was able to, you know, concoct to get her back with him. Like he played on the fact that he almost groomed her and to be just to see like if she would fit the profile that he was looking for to take back with him because he asked about her personal background. He realized that she didn't have much family and that she was pretty much there by herself and that she was so over the whole dating scene of trying to meet people online and just um she was kind of cynical about being a romantic, and he was able to take that and know that if he played to her feelings and thoughts of being in a relationship, that it would be easy for him to take advantage of it. Because you remember he was able to within a matter of a weekend or a matter of a couple of days, he was able to give this woman everything she was looking for, and then convince her to go on this weekend getaway with him with not telling her any details of where they were going and and essentially he like kind of almost gaslit her feelings about romance and relationships and was just making her feel like like this could be real, like maybe my thoughts about relationships aren't true, like people out here actually are good, and it was just weird that he was able to do that to her and that she fell for it, and I guess it kind of plays on a lot of, I don't want to say just women, but I guess there's people like it just shows how men view women in regards to I guess like to their hopefulness of being in a relationship, and then just this thing of being able to um I was just kind of playing on those emotions in that way, just because like if I'm kind of jumping all over the place with my thoughts right now, but I'm just thinking back to when he was able to actually capture her, and then when uh he was like kind of going over the fact that he wasn't going to rape her. So because the initial thoughts you think when you're trained up in, he drugged her, he chained her up, had her isolated. She thinks he's going to rape her. He said no, but he said he was going to eat her. And so that for me, that was just like that was unexpected because I didn't expect him to like sell her and like want to cut her up and eat her and stuff. But it was just a lot to kind of digest, so to speak. The fact that he was going to do that to her, and for me, like kind of knowing why he was doing it, the clientele he was selling it to, like it was all men, and like he like when she even asked him at the point where he brought her for dinner, she asked him, "Is it only women that you kidnap that you sell?" He said, "Yeah," and she asked him why. He was like, pretty much, it was like women taste better, and for me that kind of made me feel like this was like this twisted idea of this like arbitrary idea of men being hunters, and they are like they seek these women and they're trying to take advantage of them, like they're trying to just this like crazy twisted patriarchal view of like having control of these women, making them a part of them, not trying to be not they're trying to bring women into their world and trying to pretty much control them, so it was like it was insane, like the way that he was able to do that. It was very predatory as well too, because again, he's you're like you're looking for these women. He at in person at the grocery store taking this woman, and then the fact that he had these other women there, and they all had the same similar kind of story. Um, and then you come to the point where you found out that his wife that he's living this double life, and with his wife, his name was, what was it, Brad or something, or I can't remember what it was, but um, his wife was one of his victims, and that for me, it played on the fact that she had this like uh what's wrong with Stockholm syndrome, like this the Stockholm S syndrome, where she ended up fall in love with her captor. Like, he took her, but he made her into a wife, and it's like she almost became, she actually became subservient to his ideas of what he felt like what should be done inside their household.
Mm-hmm.
She was very protective over him, over her family, no matter how twisted and sick it was. It was the fact that she no longer had an identity as her own self. She was just his wife, because remember how she kept referencing him going to work, like, oh, you're going to work, you're going to work, you're going to work, and this him capturing these women, and eating and selling them. That was how he provided for them, and it was like this thing where she was okay with however you went to make the money is fine. You're doing it. You're providing for me and the family. Like, he's essentially abusing this woman, but I guess she's just so, I don't know if I'm allowed to curse, but she's just pretty much so effed up in the brain that she's just like, okay, he's doing this for us. And when they end up, he ends up getting killed in the end, she just like feels like her world is just falling apart, because now she's alone with the kids. He's no longer there to provide for them, and it's just like it's like she's just he twisted her brain to the fact, and I feel like it just plays on the fact of how men have kind of how men have done this to women for as long as we can look it up in history and see that men have twisted women's minds, or just taken them and molded them into the people that they need them to be for their own selfish gain and needs. Um, but I feel like I'm going on a tangent. I could have said a lot more, but I'm gonna go ahead and give the
I
mic
mean,
back to
y'all
you.
look. She done gave the whole movie. I'm sitting here. I'm like,
No,
man,
I'm
she's
sorry.
going. I let it go. But I only asked you what your initial thoughts were going into the movie.
I
But
know, and I
now I
realized
like
you
to
said
pick on
that,
you.
but I just went into this whole tangent. I'm so sorry.
Uh, yeah. Now I'm sitting here like, yeah, well, no. So yeah, yeah. No, this was an interesting. Definitely, like, as y'all just heard, this has a layered film, a lot of twists and a lot
Hmm.
of turns. If y'all weren't really able necessarily, if you kind of hearing this, you might be like, okay, there seems to be a lot going on in this movie. There seems to be
Hmm.
a lot of different things happening. She brought up so many different Jasmine just brought up so many different points and pieces of this movie. Um,
Hmm.
but I would say that my thoughts going into it, just kind of reeling it back a little bit, is that I looked at this from the trailer and I was like, okay, this is definitely going to be an interesting watch. Just it looked different than a lot of things that are out there now, especially within the horror genre or with this
Hmm.
the thriller genre in general. Um, there were a lot of they chose a lot of interesting shots to put into the trailer. If y'all ever watch the trailer, y'all see what I mean. Um, and so just going into this, I'm like, okay, well, this is obviously going to be like like a stalker type thing or something. But the twists and the turns that it takes, especially with and like I said, this is filled with spoilers here. But just the fact that he kind of turns out to be cannibal, to say the you know to kind of sum it up in a way, it definitely was something I did not see coming. This was
Hmm.
a film where even hearing this explanation, this it doesn't do the film
Right.
necessarily the justice that it does if you decide to watch it. Um, One of the things that I definitely enjoyed about this film is definitely like I probably just already said, it's just the direction that it took. Um, you mentioned earlier with the guy she was dating at first in the beginning of the movie.
Hmm.
That was and this movie kind of plays a lot of things up for laughs. There's a lot of dark humor in this
Hmm.
movie.
Yeah.
And the dating scene in the beginning was actually, to me, was actually really really funny just seeing how just how up his own ass that one guy was. Like he was
Mm-hmm.
just like, he was just that type of guy. I was just you kind of side with the main character here. Her name is
Mm-hmm.
Noah. So you kind of side with her in this movie and kind of like, okay, well, I see where you're coming from. I see why I don't want to date and everything. So when she meets this guy, um, Steve, when she meets Steve, she's again, like Jasmine just said, he's she's infatuated by it. He's it's Sebastian Stan, very handsome guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I would probably be swept off my feet too. So
I was.
so just seeing how that whole dynamic played out there. But
Mm-hmm.
once you really get past those first few minutes, one of the things that caught me was like just like how it officially starts, and I'm not going to give all that away. But it's just like when it officially starts, it's like a ride. It's like you're going on a ride and you don't know when you're getting
Mm-hmm.
off. You don't know how many drops this ride is going to have. You know how many twists and turns you're going on because again, like I said, even though Jasmine, gave y'all the entire movie,
I didn't give the whole movie.
even though
I
she
gave
gave
some.
y'all enough of the movie to not see. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, even though we can sit here and we can tell you so many things about this movie, but it does not. It's you're not really gonna get it unless you watch it. It's like wow, I heard it was going there, but it's insane how committed they are to the idea. Now, when I say they, I mean like the filmmakers, how committed they are to the idea, how they use there's a couple of neat Easter eggs and a couple of neat camera tricks and a couple of neat storytelling ideas that they go through, like where even if something is predictable in the movie, you still kind of are taken off guard by the things that happen by the end of the movie. And so there's a lot of insane things in here. One of the things that coming off of this film, I was kind of shaking up. Like even while I was watching, I was shaking up a lot because the performances in here are really good. Now, Sebastian Stan, a lot of people probably haven't seen him out of anything outside of the Marvel movies. So I'm always interested when a long-standing Marvel actor or an actor who's only known for one thing is in something completely different. I like to see their range. And Sebastian Stan, talking performances, he plays this character up really, like he goes from the charming guy to the creepy guy to this guy's gonna kill somebody. And I mean, which he kind of does, but it's like he's so menacing. By the end of the movie, he's such a menacing character. It's like wow, it's like I've just watched a completely different character. Like it's like am I sure I'm watching the same guy act and play this part? So I really enjoyed that about the film. Some little behind the scenes info, because y'all know I like to dish out the dish out the goods. So this was released. This is considered, I think, one of those movies that was kind of like in that limbo situation when Disney bought Fox, because this is released under the Searchlight Pictures banner, which used to be Searchlight Fox, but Disney owns them now, so whatever, right? The talent behind the camera is really interesting. Specifically, oh wow, this is actually a directorial debut of wow, I actually have to give that Mimi Cave. This is her directorial debut, so I have to give her a shout out for that. And Adam McKay had produced this. Adam McKay, he does a lot of movies. He did Don't Look Up, which we did review. He did the Anchorman movies. He does a lot of comedies. And so you can kind of, like I say, you kind of see that comedic undertone in a lot of this, like a lot of dark humor, a lot of twisted humor, but it's still humorous nonetheless. This movie was made on a budget of $15 to $20 million, and honestly, it could have been made on $5,000 to $10,000. It still would have been just as good to me. It still would have been just as good. I mean, it's hard. It's a little harder for me to talk. Y'all know how I am about spoilers. I love for everybody to envision the movie for themselves. But just like with a lot of the things, just like like Jasmine mentioned, you get to this twist where you find out who Steve really is, and then you see the life he's built as a kind of like an alibi,
Mm-hmm.
and just certain things that happen. It's really crazy. Like, you may think just from us talking about this movie now that, okay, I kind of see. No, because there's a lot of things that just,
Mm-hmm.
even when you, again, this is a movie, like, even when you can tell where it's going, it still kind of goes in the direction that's a little bit off from where you were expecting it to go the first time. So that's one thing I really enjoyed about this film. What is something that you may have disliked about this film, though? Because I mean, I think if we talk about lights, we'll be here all night. But
Yeah.
and we'll be telling y'all the entire movie from script to page to screen right here. But what are some
Mm-hmm.
things that you didn't like about this movie? Because there are a few things, very few things I didn't like. But I want to hear from your perspective. What are some things that you may not have liked so much about the film?
For me, I like backstory.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I feel like there was still a little bit of a disconnect to what brought about this realization that he needed to go into this direction with his life. Because
Right.
at the I almost at the core of him, but at least on surface level, he's a very talented man. Steve, the character, like, he's very talented, and the fact that he utilized his talents to I guess to appeal to a market and to a craving of his own, it
Mm-hmm.
just, for me, it just felt like what brought you into that, and the fact that I didn't get enough backstory into that, for me, it just fell. I won't say it fell flat, but it just didn't. I couldn't make a connection to what was his connection to it. So it just
Yeah.
felt like, he was just this predatory man who decided, oh, I'm just going to find these green women and I'm going to serve them up to these hungry men. And it's just like, for it is, I guess in some sense it could make sense, but to me it just felt like there was something that was it was disconnected for me. Um, Also, like, some of the supporting characters, I feel like they didn't give enough to the
Mm-hmm.
story. Like, I feel like they didn't have enough screen time to be able to give um more of a foundation to the story.
Right.
Because I feel like there was more of a connection between them that could have been deeper. They could have dug deeper into it, but they didn't.
Right. I can agree with you on that because
Hmm.
even some of the choices that some of the side characters make,
Hmm.
although it kind of made sense, it's kind of like, well, you kind of should have been a little smarter in this situation
Hmm.
here, or you could have done a little bit more here in this situation. And with the backstory, I do agree with you because there, and that's why I kind of, and we'll kind of touch on this a little bit in a little bit, but this is why I kind of wouldn't mind seeing a follow up to this
Hmm.
because there, especially during the credits, there's a specific part during the credits where it kind of teases something that you see throughout the movie,
Hmm.
and that Jasmine kind of touched on a little bit with just giving it where he's given the pretty much he's selling he's selling these women like meat, like he would
Hmm.
kill a cow and like selling the meat to people, but it's a lot deeper than that when you kind of watch the
Hmm.
movie and you see that there's a specific, very specific line of people, and I feel like they can touch on that if they do another installment. I would like to know more about that organization. And
Hmm.
to your credit, I would also like to know, yeah, like why did he suddenly get into that situation where he became who he was? Like what was
Hmm.
the exact story right there? So this does lend itself to a lot of questions that don't get answered,
Hmm.
but you don't really realize those questions because of the nature of the film. It's just
Right.
it's so like whoa. It's so much of that when you sit back and think about it, it's like, whoa, I have a question about this. I want to know more about that. So that's something that yeah, I kind of agree. That is kind of a dislike about it. But again, I think I can speak for the both of us when I say the major liking point, the major selling point for this is just the suspense and the
Hmm.
thrill of it. Because I talked to you about this before. There's one
Hmm.
particular part where it was so haunting that I wasn't sure if I was just overreacting or
Yeah.
if it was actually that haunting. But
Hmm.
you reassured me that was that haunting,
Hmm.
and it's just again, Sebastian Stan really did this. Like I was not expecting him to be such a haunting character. So yeah, that's definitely something that I definitely did like about it.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys ever did you ever see You on Netflix? I feel like you have.
I have, yeah,
Yeah, like
definitely.
he
We talked
definitely
about You.
he definitely gives me Joseph Goldberg vibes. Like
I think he
it,
will. I think he will outdo Joe, though.
you think
I think
so?
he would. I think he would.
I mean, because they're both very charming. They're both attractive.
Yeah, but
They both have a way of
Joe
making you
not
feel
getting to
very
the point
comfortable. You
like
know.
Joe not getting to the point like Steve did, though. Steve got a schedule to keep.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're
Steve
absolutely
got a
right.
schedule. He don't want no ties to nobody. He's just like, again, it's like raising bulls, raising cattle. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna get this
Yeah,
cattle.
you're
Yeah,
right.
eat this. Go ahead, eat this.
You might give Joe a little
He's
run
like
for
a
his money.
fish. But yeah, so that's really. I mean, there's so much to say about this film, and just how haunting it is, because that's really what got me. Even up to the point where the song that plays at the end of the movie, I've had this song stuck in my head for weeks, and the song that plays over the credits is haunting because, like, when you really put in the context of the film, it's like, yo, this film is a really fucked up film, but it's really good. Like, everyone I've talked to about it, even people who haven't gotten up to the main point of the movie, like even people who've just gotten up to the title card of the movie, which the title card of the movie comes in almost about a half hour in. So you sitting there for a half hour, you watching this what seems like a basic premise, and then it just, after that title card comes up, it jets right into the other direction, which is the cannibalism, and it's insane from there. Like us talking about
but the way they brought it in, it was so brilliant.
Yeah,
it was just it was like this paradigm shift. Like it was just like, okay, I definitely did not see that come whatsoever. Like the moment that title hits, your brain is not ready for it. It's
It's
definitely not ready.
not
It's
at all.
not.
And I love things like that. I love these I love these type of movies that it takes it and it says, okay, now you're on the ride. Like you've been in line, you stood in the queue, you waited to get on the roller coaster, and now you're on it and you're not getting off till we say you're getting off. So I love films like that. Another thing that I want to mention real quick before we go and start getting into ratings and everything. And I just lost my train of thought. This happens all the time, y'all. Long time viewers, y'all know this happens all the time. I lose my train of thought. Doggone it, I did lose my train of thought.
But while he's trying to get his thought back together, I'm just saying, I apologize if I gave too much away, but I promise you, no matter how much I said, it's still not. It still can't ruin the movie for you because I can't even put fully into words the experience that you get from watching this movie.
That's where I just gained my train of thought back. So it's two things I want to say before we go ahead and start wrapping this up. One is that and I know I've said this a bajillion times, y'all know I'm repetitive sometimes, but just watching from the beginning, you can kind of see hints of where Sebastian Stan's character goes, but you don't. Again, it's, if we hadn't told you, you really want to, and even watching it, you probably still won't fully grasp, like, yo, like this was there the entire time. And I do want to point out, because this was a fun Easter egg that I found out after I watched the movie. When they're in the grocery store, when they first meet, pay attention to the environment. Just pay attention to the environment. Pay attention to everything that's around in the grocery store when they are first interacting. And if you catch it, leave a comment down below. If you don't catch it, keep watching, look it up on Google, find the answer. Don't look it up before you watch the movie because it's going to kind of ruin it for you. Wait till you're done with the movie and then look it up, because you will. I was floored when I found that out. I was floored, and I told Jasmine about it, and she was like, "What?" And she told me she went back and watched it and was like, "Whoa!" So there are things there. There's one specific, very heavy foreshadowing hint that tells you exactly where this movie is going. And when I realized that's what happened, I was like, "Yo, this movie is officially the most insane thing I've watched in a very long time." So with all that said, this movie did get rave reviews. Part of what made me watch it too was because every time I saw a commercial, they were like, "This movie certified fresh, is certified fresh," and I was like, "Wow, this is getting that many good reviews, right?" So Rotten Tomatoes has given it an 81%. Metacritic 65%. I know we don't usually refer to Metacritic. IMDb gives it a 6.7 out of 10. All really good scores. So on our scale of 1 to 5, we do 1 to 5 stars here. I'm definitely gonna give it a 5. This is on the BrickWall wall of 5s. I need to go back and watch our videos and just like get all that on the back, like 5-star movies, and just put them right here. And I'll put my 0-star movies. Y'all know which ones are 0 stars. Don't play with me. But yeah, this is a 5-star. It's even above a 5 for me. It's above a 5. Like, I'm kind of afraid to watch it again because I'm like, yo, if I watch this again, I don't know, I might get a little scared. I might have nightmares after that.
I want to watch it again. I definitely
do. It's definitely a good film. Definitely worth to watch. What is your rating? What do you think you're gonna give it?
See, as a writer, I definitely feel like I'm more critical about writing when it comes to, and this was very well written. However, I'm still going to always go back to, I enjoy a good backstory, and it puts the pieces together for why, you know, this villain becomes a villain, or why this heroine becomes a heroine, or just whatever. Like, I need to know what makes this person become who they are. So for me, as much as I want to give it a 5, I'm gonna be a little petty and I'm gonna give it a 4.95.
4.95. Okay, y'all heard it here. Our guest is giving this movie a 4.95. Still a good recommend though. Don't let that fool you. Definitely check this out. Fresh. It is available on Hulu, now available to stream. This might actually, because there's another movie on Hulu I want to check out too. Now I might check that out. I'm doing. This is a spur of the moment thing. Y'all know I get spur of the moment sometimes too. Come on now, y'all know me. So I might really just start kicking off more weirder films, so to speak, because there are some films that are coming out, or that are already out that are a lot different from our mainstream movies. Because oftentimes we're stuck up in the Marvels and the DCs and the superheroes and all that stuff, but we often overlook some of these more insane films, you know. So I'm gonna give a lot of these films a chance. So this won't be the weirdest film I review at all. Like next week, I'm expecting to review a much weirder film than this, and I'm excited. I couldn't be more excited to do that. But in the meantime, I want to thank our guest Jasmine for joining us tonight and sticking with us through all of the constant delays. Y'all know CPT on this channel all the time. Rare when we start on time, but I thank you for sticking around. Thank you for joining us tonight. I really appreciate it. It's been fun. Everybody else who's watching, come on, you know, we live every week. You know, y'all know what it is. If this is your first time watching, make sure y'all subscribe. If y'all enjoyed this review, hit that like button down below. And we'll be back. I'll be back here tomorrow. Me and Sam will be back here tomorrow talking about the Jujutsu Kaisen movie. Again, no, we did not do the double feature today. I'm gonna update everything and I'm gonna let everybody know what's going on, what's popping. So join us tomorrow. We're gonna talk Jujutsu Kaisen. That was a great movie. Although I have significantly less to say because I'll put myself out there now. I fell asleep. Not because the movie was bad, but because I was tired. But outside of that, once again, thank you to our guest Jasmine. Thank you to everyone who's viewing out there. Make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. And until next time, y'all have a good one. Y'all stay easy, stay breezy, cover girl, whatever they used to say, right? All right, we'll holler at y'all though. Peace. Have a good night. Peace. Peace. Yeah, we out.